Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today we're doing another part of our C++ series. We're going to be going over loops. This is another part of control flow, right? Anytime that you want to perform an action multiple times, over and over and over again, do you want to literally write out that logic 100 times, 1,000 times? No, you don't. And that's why loops are so great. Loops allow us to perform an action multiple times. We put a conditional in there, we have like an incrementer, and then that action that we put inside the block of the loop will execute however many times we want it to. Yeah, that's essentially it. I'll show you what I mean in the code right now. We're just going to start include our input output stream. We're going to use the namespace. And now we're going to create our method. The more you see this, the more familiar you'll be, the more comfortable you'll be with typing this stuff out. That's why I do it at the beginning of every video. And yeah, so first we're going to start with a while loop, right? Essentially, let's see, if we want to say hello, right? Hello, friend. We want to print this to the screen 5 times. Then we'd have to like write this out. Five times, and then we have to remember to put in the new line. You know, things can happen. A lot of things can get messed up if you're trying to rewrite all these functions. Of course, you can do the whole copy and paste thing, but then if you're even doing that, or you're doing one of these, you're still taking up a whole bunch of space in your program that you don't need to. Let's compile it, and now let's run it. So it runs hello friend 5 times. But do we want all this extra code here? No, I say nay. You don't know how many times you're actually going to want to write something out and how taxing that may be. Your code base can get really cluttered, right? Remember, we say we want to make our code nice and dry. Don't repeat yourself. And if we're literally copying and pasting code, we're doing exactly that, repeating ourselves. Our code is not dry, and it may make things a lot harder for collaborators to navigate through. Especially if you, instead of having this, you have like you've written out bulks of logic and then you've copied and pasted them so that you can perform them over and over again. I don't know, but that's not something that we want to do. So instead of doing that, I'm going to introduce you to the while loop. The while loop, you can have like, first you set an incrementer, right? We'll set x to 0. And then we'll say while x is less than 5, and we'll open upper braces. And this is going to be where we're going to want to print something. I'm going to do cout, how are you? Right? So what would happen here is we'd run our code, x is set to 0, and then we have while it has its conditional here, while x is less than 5, run this code inside the block. Now, if we were to run it and compile it right now, what would happen is we'd end up in an infinite loop, which is something we never want to do, because that'll essentially just keep running this code infinitely until like your program or your device crashes, and that is not something that you want to do. So we'll always have to remember to have something to change, or to change this condition from so that whatever is in here is no longer true. Okay. Right now x is less than 5. That's true, so the stuff inside the block gets executed, right? This is more control flow. This is why I went into if and else statements before this in the previous episode. So now here we have to increment x just by 1. So now this will happen 5 times. I can even uncomment these so you can see what's going on. But just recompile and run it. Oh snap, see, we forgot the new line. Okay, I'm not gonna blame you, this is on me, I forgot the new line. But you can still see that it printed out 5 times, how are you? Right, so at least you get the idea of what's going on here. So that's a while loop. Now, outside of a while loop, there's also a for loop. Right? And the great thing about the for loop is that it has the incrementer, an assignment of the incrementer built in. So you'd say for, and then we'd set our incrementer, int I equals 0, and then you put your semicolon to say like, okay, stop that. The next part is going to be the conditional. So as long as I is less than 5, right? Semicolon, and then we have our incrementer I plus plus. I mean, you could also decrement if you want to do like another thing. If you want to do like, I don't know, if you want to set this to 5 while I is greater than 0, I minus minus, you can do that too. I'll just do it here so you can see what that looks like. There we go. While I is greater than 0, right? And then we can open up our curlies. And yeah. Talk to you later. Nice. Right? So now we've written this all. Now instead of writing like what? We've got 5 lines of code here. That's reduced to 3 lines of code with the for loop. Pretty neat. Pretty cool. Both of them are doing the same thing. There are going to be some cases where you're going to want to use a for loop more, and there can be some cases where you'd be better off with a while loop. But yeah, it's not that crazy. Let's compile it. And then let's run it. There we go. There you have it. Boom. Alright, so I'm going to stop recording the screen. Stop the screen recording. And yeah, that's about it for the video. I know, super quick. We love to see it. But those are loops. Next video is going to be about arrays, vectors, and dictionaries. So that one is going to be a bit longer. But yeah, that is it for the video. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps out the video a lot. And subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe if you're old and you're watching the videos but you're not subscribed. It just helps out a lot. It helps me. I hope that these are helping you. If they're not helping you, that's what the comment section is for. Let me know if there's something that I'm missing or if there's something that you want to see. And I will try to do that. But we have just learned something new. You get your high five. I don't know. Was that a good high five? Yeah, that's it. I'll see you next time.